Cat Audio.
Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Take What You Need, the podcast. Today we are highlighting Natasha Helwig. She is a writer, a facilitator, a coach, and just an all-around sister to me, and I feel like she will be to you guys. So grounding, so real, so honest. She just showed up with what she had, and that's all we can ever ask for this space. I hope that you guys really enjoy this. So with that, I invite you to get into a nice, comfortable seated position. You can soften your gaze or close your eyes. There is no right or wrong way to show up in this moment. Take a deep breath in the nose and let it out with a sigh through the mouth. And I invite you to come as you are and take what you need. Natasha, thank you so much for being on the Take What You Need, the podcast. I'm so excited to hop on with you and get to hear your story and just connect and be in sisterhood with you.
I'm excited to be here.
Yay! We're so happy to have you. How are you feeling today?
I feel good. It might also be a little bit of like a Monica day, like just one of them days, like we're just,
Just one of those
yeah,
days.
we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, there's room for all of that. I think,
Mhm.
especially when it comes to this kind of work and the work that you do and the space that you hold for people, not every day is going to feel fucking good. And I think
Right.
we need to be honest about that, right? Show
Right.
up and be like, I'm not, I'm I'm
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, I'm not good. That's true. If I can be totally honest,
Yeah,
yeah, today's one of
please.
those like not so not. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not. Exactly.
that's okay. I'm not. And that's okay. And
Yeah.
we have space for that. We are holding you in that space. We
Yeah.
want to give you that comfort, that warmth to just be that, to not be, to not
Mhm.
be, to not be.
Right. Thank
Because I
you.
think that's also important. We just did another recording literally early this morning, kind of talking about just being transparent, just being open. And I think our society conditions us to be pleasant,
Right.
even for the sake of everyone else's feelings.
Right.
So
Right.
we pretend oh, I'm fine. When someone oh, how are you doing? Oh, I'm fine.
Yeah. Well,
And
how are you doing isn't even like a true question anymore.
right,
It's just a
right.
salutation, like we're
A
not,
hundred exactly. It's a
yeah,
pleasantry.
it's a
It's a baseline
pleasantry. We're
nothingness.
not
Exactly.
actually curious about each other anymore.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Hmm.
exactly. So I do appreciate the honest, the humanness of it,
Right.
because yeah, your whole life could be on fire, and you're just like, I'm
I'm
fine,
fine.
I'm fine.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm not actually. The unsuspecting Trader Joe's cashier, You're
Right.
like, I'm actually not good, Steven, and here's the reasons why,
Right.
Capitalism is killing us, Steven. And he's like, what the fuck?
It's
But
true.
no, I do appreciate the honesty and the openness, because shit's gonna happen. Life's gonna life. No matter
Right.
what. Life's gonna life. So,
How are you,
you know.
Lexi?
I am in a really strange transition in my life right now. I felt like for a really long time shit has been churning, and I feel like I've been churning air and I'm not getting
Mm-hmm.
anywhere. And I've been really frustrated, especially in my business. Super frustrated, really really discouraged.
Right.
Very incredibly discouraged. And then more recently, I felt like I needed to I just kind of blew up my life is kind of how it feels now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just I took a risk. I'm pivoting.
Yeah.
I'm trying something else, and it's all working out, and I see it in the way that the pieces are falling into place, but it is still so scary
Right.
and so big, and so I was being really stubborn about living in my apartment and
Okay.
staying in my apartment. I was
Right.
really stubborn, I'm going to stay here while
Hmm.
I'm trying to build a business. and
Hmm.
money is so tight and like this big bill every month. And like but I was like, but this is what I have to do. This is what I have to do. Have to
Yeah.
have this. Have to have my house. And then all of a sudden I realized like, actually, I don't. And I
Right.
should move. And I was like, but like that was a whole other can of worms. Like, I don't want to leave Ojai. I love Ojai. I don't want to leave Ojai. And like it's
Yeah.
all this stuff. All that to say, I'm definitely very I'm tense right now because I'm taking these big leaps of faith and I'm just doing these things that are a little bit unconventional and it may look a little irresponsible to some people, but like I
Yeah.
know the pathway forward. Like I just got to let it. I have to just let it. So I'm kind of bracing for impact right now is kind of the feeling.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel great. Like I'm not stoked. I'm kind of like
Yeah. Yeah.
but but overall, like getting to do this type of work and being with Maddie makes me feel good.
Hmm.
So like although there's things obviously like happening in the back burner that I'm like still thinking about and working out in my head and trying to pivot and trying to move and trying to work and trying to,
Yeah.
we're here.
I feel like this last 6 months of this year have been really disruptive for a lot of people. I
Mm.
feel in different ways. And
Mhm.
it's something I wrote about. I found that I think that anything you've been too attached to is
Mhm.
um, in almost intentionally dismantling. And
Mhm.
ideas we have, homes we're attached to, people we're attached to,
Mhm.
a specific lifestyle, like they're all like it's almost like we're hanging on by a thread trying to or like grasping at them, like I want this thing back. And I really relate to
Yeah.
you in regards to the home because I'm very attached to my home as well.
Mhm.
And I've been going through the entrepreneurial journey and the last 2 years have been
Mhm.
tough and there's no way in hell I'm
Mhm.
leaving my home. I'm just not
Right.
leaving.
Right. Right.
And, I'd shared with you that my mom is now sick, and now I've
Mhm.
been 97% of the time back at my family home. And when I
Mm.
go back to my place for that other 3%, I feel
Mhm.
so disconnected. Like I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like I feel displaced really because I don't really
Yeah.
feel at home in the family home
Yeah. Yeah.
with any traumas that might exist in this space and
Yeah.
the dynamics between me and my parents, and then
Yeah.
going back to the condo where it was always my home doesn't feel like
Yeah.
that anymore. It's like I'm a visitor,
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Totally.
yeah, and as you said, you can just all I can do is just flow through it. I feel like I can't do anything else but just like
Right. Me
what take
there.
one foot in front of the other each day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. I know it is. I. I mean, I always preach like living my life with an open hand, but like
Mm,
in practice, that's obviously something that like I need. Well, obviously, I'm being put into practice. I'm putting this into practice
yeah.
because I was so stubborn about leaving my apartment. I was
Mhm.
so stubborn about it. But like I had also had there was a woman that was on the podcast previously, and she and I did we exchanged readings, and she was like, "Oh, you're moving," and this was like months ago, and I was
Yeah.
like hell I am. Like I was like, "You're." She was right, and I
Yeah.
felt it in my body, but I immediately felt that resistance, that frustration, and like over my dead body. And I was like, I refuse. And I was just being really stubborn about it. And it wasn't really until like a couple days ago that I was like, oh, I need to rethink some things because, like, at what cost? At what
Right.
cost am I, like, what am I churning for? What am I stressing myself out for? Like, I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not doing
Hmm.
anything productive with this churning energy. I'm just stressing. I'm just scared. I'm just scared. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just a, yeah, it's a practice in detachment. It's a practice in, and like, these are like big life
Hmm.
lessons. These are not overnight, like, oh, and I just don't care anymore. Like, oh, and I'm just above it. Buddha bitch, like, like Zen baddie. Like,
Yeah.
that's not real.
It's not real. Exactly.
That's an unrealistic expectation of self.
Right.
Not to say that you can't achieve that place, but that's work. That's work. It takes work and effort and consistent effort.
Yeah. I agree with you.
And also you get attached to things. You love things. You like the way the things make, and it's like for a long time my apartment served its purpose. And then I just started to feel like more and more squeezed.
Mm.
And I was realizing like, oh, like, well, I'm like, I've always felt a little squeezed here.
Yeah.
It's always been a little bit of a financial strain to live here, but I've figured it out, and I've had to do what I've had to do. And then I'm like, so, like you turn the other cheek, turn the other
Yeah.
cheek, turn the other cheek. And you're like, how many times can I get like slapped? You know what I mean?
Right. And I
How
also
many
think
times?
we have ideas of what the next step is supposed to look like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next step in our minds, it's not to go backwards. It's not to come
Right.
back to the family
Yeah.
home or to
Right.
downsize or to anything like that, you know? Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's like, well, I mean, I didn't even envision, yeah, I just envisioned it all being there. Just me being there and everything working out right there. And me getting to
Right.
stay there and just making it work and being like working towards that, what like to me is the finish line is that ease, that feeling
Right.
of ease, and being like, oh, like if I just work hard enough and I just turn myself and I just keep hitting the pavement, then I'll find that ease.
Right. Right.
And then I know I made the right choice because I'll feel that ease in my
Hmm.
body, and the ease will be what I decide ease is.
Right. Exactly.
Foolishly. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. As I was listening to you, that's I was thinking that. I was like, we're constantly looking for, asking for ease, peace and
Mhm.
ease. And the
Mhm.
we already know that the more we ask for things like that is the more disruption and chaos that's going to be invited in. Because we're supposed to be practicing that ease and peace, you know,
Just embodying it as is,
embodying it.
embodying
It's a
it right
being.
now. Right.
Right. Hmm.
Oof. Yeah, it's Maddie and I were laughing about this phrase, like what is it, the horse before the cart. I kept
Yeah.
thinking of it like backwards, and I was mixing the words, mincing the words, but essentially what I was trying to get at is like I don't want to get ahead of myself, or like, and in the same way, like we think that if we get the ease, then we know we did the right thing, when the
Right.
reality is we're supposed to be the ease now, or at least embody that in, and then more ease will come.
Right.
So
Right.
it's like, I don't know, like putting the horse before the car. I don't think that translates, but in my mind it made sense.
I get you. I get you.
Yeah. It's like we put the horse there, and the horse is the ease, right? And it's like, this is how it's supposed to work. And then I don't know. In my mind, it made sense. I've been trying to make this freaking quote fit into my life because it keeps showing up in my head, and I keep thinking it. And I'm like, and then I'm trying to apply it. I just applied it wrong. Anyways, but anyways,
Yeah.
yes, this embodying of the ease in the present moment, and knowing that like you can like reach and achieve that, like knowing you can have that ease, like you can find that ease within reach. It's within reach,
Right. Right.
but it's also that ease, or that reaching for that ease, gets lost in the shuffle of the chaos of life
But do you
in
think
your
that
own mind.
we take enough time to appreciate the ease when we have it?
No,
Or, yeah. Or we're
no
like,
way.
why is it so quiet? You
I'm
know, like,
bored.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm bored. Exactly.
Yeah. I also think it's like this idea of you're so stressed, you're so stressed, you're so stressed. There's a little bit of relief, and you think, cool, next thing. Like you
Right.
don't ever like cherish when the relief is there. When you have that relief, you don't ever like take a moment to slow down and say, okay, like this is the reprieve that I've been looking for. Instead,
Right.
we're like,
Right.
on to the next thing, like next Goliath, next mountain,
And we don't
next
realize
thing.
it because I think the ease and the rest that comes with it invites creativity. So it
Yes.
invites it gets our minds going. We have the
Hmm.
space to think about all the things we think we should be doing or all the things we're
Yeah.
not doing.
Yeah.
And so we immediately were like, it's time to act.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. It's always,
mhm.
yeah, it's time to act. It's time to act. It's time to act.
Yeah.
I completely agree. I don't think that we do fully appreciate the ease that shows up when it does. Or maybe, yeah, we don't recognize it as the ease that we're looking for again because we think it
Right.
needs to be something that it's not. And it shows up in a completely different sense of the word. And you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I thought I was bored, or I was scared. Like I'm waiting for the next shoe to drop. I'm
Yeah.
paranoid. I'm anxious. So I
Hmm.
completely misread the situation as, oh, this is actually ease I've been like asking for, the reprieve I needed.
Right. I think that
Damn.
shows up so much in relationships too. Like,
Yeah.
especially when you just said waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah.
I have a background of having been in toxic and abusive relationships and
Hmm.
being in my first quote unquote healthy because we're still working every day, at it.
Sure.
Um, but for the first, we are now 4 years, entering our fifth year. And
Nice.
for the first two and a half of the 2.5 years, I have been waiting for the other shoe to drop. I
Yeah.
in with my shoulders up to my ears,
Yeah.
anticipating if he's going to cheat on me or hit
Hmm.
me or
Hmm.
have an
Hmm.
outburst or something.
Hmm.
Um, and not realizing that when I'm like this with my shoulders up to my ears and
Yeah.
my fist clenched and stuff, that I'm not
Yeah.
staying open to receiving him, and
Right.
I've got blinders on. I'm not allowing myself to see all the ways he's being loving,
Yeah.
and take all those ways and retrain my subconscious to say
Right.
this is what a healthy man and a healthy relationship looks like.
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
while I'm in it,
Right.
it's I've only started doing that probably in the last year, where it's like
Yeah.
negotiating with myself,
Hmm.
recognizing that the things he's doing are not meant to manipulate me, they're actually to love me.
A
you know
hundred. Oh my
yeah.
gosh, that's so real. And like being able to, yeah, like remove that lens and recognize that you removed that lens, to
Hmm.
be able to see it from a pair of fresh eyes, to say, he's not manipulating me. He loves me. This is not coded. This is
Right.
not manipulated. This is not, you know what I mean? Like, this is not what my instinct would tell me it is.
Hmm.
When, like, I can see, I have proof that it's not.
Right. Right.
But that's work. That takes, I mean, it makes sense that it would have taken, some time for you to like settle in and finally be like, okay, the water is warm. And
Yeah.
I can put my shoulders down. I can breathe like a sigh of relief. And like loving someone in relationship, it takes work. It does. It doesn't, even the best relationships, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it doesn't mean it's not work worth doing, right? Like,
Right.
I think.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, I feel like there's an ideal of relationships that get sold that, like, if you're in the right relationship, like, you never have one bad day and you guys don't get annoyed
Exactly.
with each other and you don't, you know what I mean? Like, and you guys just intrinsically know how to love each other and, like, are just made hand in hand cookie cutter for each
Yeah,
other.
exactly.
And
And
that's
social
a
media,
lie.
right. And
Yeah.
social media keeps perpetuating it. Like right up to
Hmm.
last night, I had a girlfriend, she just needed to vent some things. And
Yeah.
she's like, I keep watching these videos online of these men who are like cooking and cleaning and how to take care of your woman when she's on her cycle and all these things. And I
Yeah.
was like, all these
Yeah.
videos will make you leave your man. Like all of them
Yeah.
will, will set you. And it's not to say that those types of men don't exist or that your partner
Exactly.
can't lean into that as well, but it's also
Yeah.
discovering how that person loves you. And,
Yes. Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, I think the double-edged sword of social media is that it does paint this picture that everybody has it and you don't.
right.
And like you're somehow left out, or like you are just missing that key ingredient that's seemingly everyone else seems to have this special sauce that gets that kind of man, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
And you just don't, girl, you know?
Yeah,
Like that's not,
exactly.
that's so unfair and so not true. And
Yeah.
but yeah, I can understand that feeling like so well. It's hard to not compare
Yes.
where we
Hmm.
think we need to be and where we think everyone else happens to be,
Right. Yeah.
you know. But we jumped in so hard, and I love that because this is what this is about. But I wanted to come back a little bit, scoot back a little bit, and have you introduce yourself and who you are to our community.
Oh yeah, the introductions.
I mean, we can do
Um,
whatever we want. It's your world, babe. But yeah, I would love for you to intro yourself a little bit and just
yeah.
kind of, yeah, warm us up to you.
My name is Natasha. Everyone calls me Tash. I am based in Toronto and I am a facilitator, a writer, and once coach because I've kind of stepped away a bit from the coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my world, my community, the community I serve has mainly been Black women through emotional,
Mm-hmm.
relational, and self-awareness. And now I'm choosing to walk down a different path where I'm
Mm-hmm.
using storytelling to create spaces for people to be seen and heard and understood and all the things. So, still hoping to, well, no, not hoping. I am still in the lane of community and
Mm-hmm.
just humanness, I would
Yeah.
say. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
really want to create more spaces, especially I'm beginning with targeting work environments because I feel like in work environments, especially for Black and Brown people,
Mm-hmm.
we don't get to always feel human in those spaces. And
Totally.
so I'm focused on using this practice to create circle and create time spent and
Mm.
moments where people can hear about other people's lived experiences and
Mm-hmm.
just
Mm-hmm.
share and
Yeah.
listen and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Create that connection.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's so important and necessary, especially like in the work environment where it feels like I know there was a lot of discourse around about like the 92% of people that voted and like the 90%
Hmm.
of black women that have voted and are like, well, I've done my part. You know what I mean? Like, I don't
Yeah.
want to be superhuman anymore. I don't want to be super, I want to take off my cape. I want to do the bare minimum like everybody else. I just want to show
Yep.
up.
Yeah.
And I think there's like such a need for that like space to be held and facilitated for women, especially black women who feel like that they need to be superhuman in order to exist and to be valid
Right.
or to
Yeah.
earn their keep when in reality it's like we can just be. We can just be like everyone
Be
else. We deserve to just be.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I'm getting into.
No, I love that. I think that's so fantastic. Have you always been like a very community-based person? Like what kind of led you to this like facilitation? Take us back a
Mhm.
little bit.
I don't think I knew that I was community based.
Mhm.
Ancestrally, it's in my bloodline to be.
Mhm.
My
Mhm.
grandparents, my dad's side is very involved in church and community and things like that. And my mom's side, totally different. My grandfather was a DJ and he had a club in like
Cute.
the 1950s Jamaica. And
Wow.
yeah, and so there was and both my parents are from very large families. So they're both one of
Mhm.
13. And so they I think even in that, being one of a huge mix of siblings, there's that sense of community. But then, and that came into the household. So I grew up in a house where my mom was always cooking large. People were always coming here on weekends to
Mhm.
eat. My dad was always playing music in the basement, things like that. And so
Mhm.
those values and that lifestyle stuck with me.
Mhm.
And so I would say at the turn of social media and especially Instagram and then the pandemic
Mhm.
where a lot of us were isolated, I always found myself doing things that reached out to community, whether it was holding spaces, events, or through writing. I've
Yeah.
used my writing a lot to gather people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I would say it wasn't something I totally recognized until lately.
Mhm.
And I also realized I heard someone say that a way to know if you're an introvert or an extrovert is when you're going through problems, some sort of problem. An introvert will take to writing it down, and an extrovert would take to wanting to share it and tell people. And
Mm.
I'm somewhere in between both.
I was just gonna say I'm
Yeah,
also both because I want
yeah.
both.
I want
Uh-huh.
both, exactly. So my writing in the very beginning when writing became more public for me, it
Yeah.
was used to share my abuse stories and to
Mm.
create space for other women to share their abuse stories. And then
Yeah.
that started to create this larger community around me
Mm.
online. And then
Yeah.
it just trickled from there. Then I started hosting events and
Mhm.
group sessions and things like that.
Mhm.
And I got my coaching certificate in 2015 and I just had
Mhm.
no confidence for it. I just got the
Mhm. Mhm.
certificate and I was like, this is what I
Mhm.
should
Mhm.
do. Someone told me I should do it. I was like, all
Right.
right, this is going to help me like hold space better for people. And I
Yeah.
had no confidence for it at that time. And I sat on it
Yeah.
until probably 2019.
Mhm.
And I couldn't tell you what changed. Something just changed in 2019 and I started coaching. Um,
Nice.
But I realized as I was coaching that really what I was doing was using activities I had used throughout my life to
Mm-hmm.
walk myself through the start of my healing journey. I was facilitating those activities to other women. And so
Yeah.
that's where the title change came in, and I said, you know what, I'm actually a facilitator because I feel that we all know who we are
Mm-hmm.
inside, and sometimes you just need
Mm-hmm.
someone to kind of like pull it out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do feel you can do it on your own as well if you just focus in on the self work. And so
Yeah.
yeah, I just saw myself as someone who was just facilitating that for people,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And so I'm really not the rah motivational type of girl. Like I'm still
Totally,
working on my
totally.
words of affirmation.
That's okay. That's
And so
okay.
that was also part of the reason I was like, girl, you're not really, I didn't see myself anyways as a coach per se. I see myself more so as
Mm-hmm.
a guide and yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
facilitator.
I
Yeah.
I can understand that feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of that same energy of like, well, I have to be 100% in order for me to feel qualified
Right.
to teach someone else. When I think the overarching message, especially just like theme that's coming up today and throughout all of this podcast, honestly, is like, I'm a human being, like, like tripping forward, and people like, and I've like exposed myself to things and I've been through things, and then I'm just like, I'm being a little bit brave and sharing it in hopes that someone else can learn something, gain something,
Yeah.
take away something from my journey.
Yeah.
And like showing up very imperfectly, like just so human about it, like not perfect at all, have not figured this out. Just
Right.
like, hey, tried this thing, threw it at the wall. This is how it played out for me.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. I
here
never
you go.
shied away from vulnerability.
Yeah,
I've had people throughout this journey say to me, like, how are you vulnerable? Or like, teach me how to be. And I was like, I do not know how to teach that. It's just, I guess, in me.
yeah,
Or maybe I'm just looking for my own communities through the things that I've gone through. And so I just put it out
right,
there. Like, there's no fear for
right.
me to put it out there because I'm like, there's got
Yeah.
to be another bitch who went through this and I need to talk to them, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's essentially in a lot of ways it's been my own selfishness that has,
Totally. I love that.
allowed me to be
Absolutely.
vulnerable and to
Yeah,
create space for people.
yeah.
And so yeah, and it has helped me a lot in building that community and in
Mhm.
building my work and my business as well.
Right, right.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
with vulnerability, it comes with yeah, that sense, literally, it's the seed of trying
Hmm.
and a little bit of exposure.
Right,
And like knowing like rejection could very well be on the other side, but worth the risk, right? Worth
right.
just putting it out in the world to see, like you said, like I know someone else has gone through this. There's a
Yeah,
million gajillion people in this world. Someone has probably had to have felt that way. And like I often find, if I'm feeling like that, I'm like, okay, if I throw it out there and nobody, no one echoes back, I'm like, then I'm
right,
going to create that space then.
right.
Then I'm going to make that space because someone will, like, there are so many people that are going to come after me that are going to look for me and look for this.
Yeah,
And I want to have
exactly.
that space set up for them, ready to go.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, like teaching vulnerability is one thing, but yeah, like I feel like there, like, sure, maybe could be like quantifiable steps, but it is really like starting with that sense of just like, I gotta try, I gotta put myself out there,
Right.
and
Right.
like being okay with the outcome, like no outcome, no expectation of the outcome.
Exactly. And I guess
Yeah.
that's the surrender piece.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. The surrendering. When did you know that you were magic?
Yeah. Different times for different reasons.
Love that.
Um, I guess I'll speak to what's making me feel like magic lately.
Hmm.
Um, Lately I have been told a lot that when people are in space with me and I'm facilitating the storytelling practice,
Hmm.
um, they are amazed at how well I am at holding the space.
Mm.
And that is again something people have asked me to try to quantify, like, how do I
Yeah.
hold space?
Yeah.
and I ain't got a clue. I just know I'm doing
You
it.
just do. Yeah.
I'm literally being, this is me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so that would be one. And I'm grateful that people can see video of me or yeah, even that's come up that people have seen a video of me facilitate and they feel like they can feel the energy and the depth in the room and the stories that are
Oh
coming
yeah.
out of that space
Oh
based on
yeah.
how I hold it. So that makes me feel amazing. But
Yeah.
I also won't take credit for that necessarily because I do think it's God. I do
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
spiritually that it's God just using me in that moment to
Yes.
help guide
Yes.
others.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I pride myself on is my openness
Mm.
and not just in sharing and speaking, but in receiving people.
Mm.
There's so much talk, and I'm exactly this way of like protecting our energy and being mindful of who's in spaces and who you
Hmm.
connect with and things like that. But
Yeah.
to also honor for those of us who have the ability to remain open and to draw
Hmm.
people in
Hmm.
um, that to allow people to come to us to be curious about us and to make those connections with people
Yeah.
before you discern if they should be in your life or not, because
Yeah. Yeah.
I grew up in a home as pretty much an only child. My dad does have children previous to my mom, but I grew up as an
Oh.
only child. And I have
Mm-hmm.
many ways of being an only, like many attributes of myself are very only child, like
Yeah.
don't touch my
Yeah.
shit. I'm like, like
Yeah.
I like my alone time, things like
Yep.
that. But
Uh-huh.
to also be able to stay open and want to connect with people and have a level of magnetism that allows people to
Yeah.
come to me,
Yeah.
I would say is magic as well. Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. It is the secret sauce, as they say. And it is not, it's kind of, yeah, it is hard to like find a way to be like, well, this is how you do it. It just kind of, yeah, I feel like it is very innate and
Yeah.
like a God-given gift, like a gift. Absolutely.
But these are things that I'm learning to see in myself now.
Mm. Yes.
And I think that's why I appreciate your question because if you'd asked me that any other time, that question would have made me freeze, would have
Yeah.
made me uncomfortable, or I would have maybe leaned on some sort of accreditations or work or something,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
something
Right.
that's
Right.
not true to just, again, my own essence of being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
No, I love being able to, I love offering that question because it does catch people off guard, but then it does give you a chance to be like, yeah, like I've been magic all along, and this is how I can pinpoint it. Because
Yeah.
in essence, everyone is in their own way, however they want to, categorize it. We are. But
Right.
it's nice to know when we recognize it within ourselves because oftentimes I think I can only speak from my experience. Like I always say like I don't really see the impact of my work. Like I don't really like
Mm,
realize like how things are landing with people. I just feel it like, oh, like someone's got to hear this or like, oh, I needed this for
yeah.
myself today. And then I like have my little phone, post it on the phone, and then I go about my business, whatever. Like
Yeah.
it's not, you don't think about like how the ripple or who is needing that or where it comes from or whatever until someone like stops me, right? And says like, hey, like I needed this today. Like your
Right.
impact, like I felt this impact. And you're like, oh, thanks,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
cool, cool.
Yeah. I'm
But it is nice to see
also,
it in ourselves.
yeah, I'm also appreciating more what it means to be a support person in that
Mm,
my whole life, like if you'd asked me when I was a little kid what I envisioned of myself, I always saw myself as the girl in the white power suit. If I was going to run some company, yada yada.
uh-huh.
And then I
Uh-huh.
went through my career and I did well or moved up in said
Sure.
company. And then I
Yeah.
started to be an entrepreneur and yada yada. But in the entrepreneur journey, I've what I've witnessed in myself is that I kind of plateau a little. Like I do
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
um, but I've never been like a millionaire, for example. And
Mm-hmm.
these are the markers I would give myself is like how much money did I
Mm-hmm.
make and things like that. And through the
Mm-hmm.
journey, I learned like, girl, you don't even really want to do all this. Like, you don't really want to be the head of anything. Like, you're
Yeah.
totally happy to, like, I'm very happy to support and amplify those around me. And
Mm.
to
Mm-hmm.
see, like, using your word magic in other people
Yeah.
and say like, yo, how can I
Yeah.
put you on? Who can I connect you
Yeah.
with? How can I
Yeah.
support you in growing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
again, back to the social media, it all says that everybody's supposed to, we all can win. It just doesn't look the same for
Yeah.
everyone.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah. And I
I
think
completely
people
agree.
feel like if you're second, it means you didn't win. You know,
Mm.
like
Mm.
if I'm supporting you, Lexi, in your
Right.
endeavors and
Right.
you're the face and you're the
Right.
your win can
Right.
also be mine
Right.
once I love
I love
you,
that.
you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I love I'm feeling like a stirring emotionally about that because to me that's so important. This
Mhm.
like idea of like, well, if I'm winning, you're winning.
Right.
If you know, like if I'm, yeah, like secondary, quote unquote, to
Yeah.
you, but you're winning, this is a win in my book. Like
Right.
seeing people do things and like me being able to like lend a hand in that, like in my healing work, like being able to like lend a hand. I always say like I'm just happy to be a small part of your journey. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I'm just happy to be here, you know?
Right.
But that idea of like, yeah, we all can win and it may just look a little different. It does, I feel like, kind of press against this idea of like individualism, of like we all
Mhm.
have to be the one and I have to be the only one and I stepped on everybody's heads to get here and whatever.
Yeah, it's true.
When like that's not the true way of being.
Right.
I don't believe.
Yeah.
And so I love that energy of like, well, how can my ness help your ness?
Hmm. Yeah.
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 So tell me, how do you balance it all? The content creation, the writing, the facilitating. How do you manage?
I
What's your
don't.
secret sauce? I don't. Yeah.
I don't manage it all. The secret sauce this year has been
Uh-huh.
that word ease.
Ease. Yes.
So,
Okay.
I, well, I'm 39 in a couple of weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and I have gone through my 20s where I was working like the three, four jobs, the head
Oh
down,
my
the
gosh.
building of the business, all that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then in my 30s, feeling confident in the work, like my early 30s, sorry, feeling confident in the
Mm-hmm.
work I was doing and the income I was making and all the things. And then
Yeah.
at the height of the pandemic, when
Mm-hmm.
I think that maybe it should, my thought is that maybe that was meant to be a time where we would have had a global rest and a global
Right.
reset.
Sure.
Many of us decided to start new things.
Totally.
Because
Totally.
bringing it back
We
to the
had time.
beginning, yeah, we had time.
We had time.
Bringing it back to the beginning of our talk here is that we
Mm-hmm.
were easing and resting, and we were like, no, we need to be baking and starting businesses. Like, we need to be doing stuff,
Bread.
you know.
Yeah,
Everybody,
sourdough starters, literally
yeah,
sourdough starters for everyone. Yeah.
right. So I was one of those people, and
Uh-huh.
really dove into my business. But by
Nice.
the end of 2021, I was burnt the hell out, like
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
much. And
Yeah.
um it, I'm still dealing with that,
Mm.
with the
Mm-hmm.
physical health ramifications of
Mm.
burning myself out. And it's been,
Yeah.
yeah, like 3 years. It's
Yeah.
gotten a lot better. But
Yeah.
when I started to say to myself, I want to use storytelling and I want to start this new business called the Birdhouse,
Yeah. Yeah.
I asked God if I could please build this with ease. And I'm going
Mm.
to, if I have to be the first entrepreneur to build something with ease, I'm going to be that
Yeah.
person. I do not know what
Yeah.
it's going to look like. Every day has
Yeah.
been surrender. Um,
Yeah.
and so instead of me trying to call 30 people or pitch to 30 people, I'm pitching to
Uh-huh.
five at a time, for
Yeah. Yeah.
example.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of me getting up and writing and putting content out 7 days a
Mm-hmm.
week, I do it 3 days a week. Sometimes
Yeah.
months go by and I don't. And I'm okay
Right.
with that at this
Yeah.
point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and also with this new business, I chose to not have it be on social media. I
Okay.
said to myself, a lot of my clients probably wouldn't be on social media. A lot of the larger
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
companies are not looking for facilitators on Instagram. That's the truth.
Right.
And
Right.
so I wasn't going to stress myself out with
Mm-hmm.
showcasing all of that
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
on social media. And then to add another layer, I do want to honor people and their stories and their privacy. So I'm not
Yeah.
bringing in videographers and things like that into a space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
really scaling back a lot of things and trying not to listen to how everybody else has been doing things.
Yeah.
Um, and uh, I obviously have financial goals and a lot of that tangible stuff, but
Sure.
giving myself the grace right now to be
Mm-hmm.
okay if I don't hit those, you know, in the next
Yeah.
30 days or whatever. And then we have
Right.
to add in that my mom's been hit with um a huge disruption, that's the word I'm going to use, but just a huge life change physically
Yeah.
and with her health. And I am playing part of a role of being her caregiver alongside my dad. And so
Mm.
I do
Mm.
think that I'm being asked to stop and slow down as much as I'm
Yeah.
resisting, as much as I
Yeah.
don't want to be
Yeah.
here and I want to be in my
Totally.
condo, like
Yeah. Totally.
I'm
Totally.
I'm trying to as well ease into what this means and
Yeah.
focus on being a daughter. And
Yeah.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
still, this is such a very real time conversation we're having.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting when it's actually posted because I'd be curious to see where I'm at when,
Yes.
in that time.
Yeah. A few months
But
from now.
for,
Yeah.
yeah, a few months from now,
Yeah.
but in this moment right now, I can be
Yeah.
honest and say that like I'm not doing well with it.
Yeah.
I I too will choose to write something and be on my laptop or
Mm-hmm.
choose to answer a call or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Mm-hmm.
rather than climb into bed next to her sometimes. I do
Yeah.
make a
Yeah.
point to try to climb into bed with her and like watch TV and do things, but
Yeah.
um, sometimes I'm
Mm.
I'm also like, no, I need to stay in this bedroom and I need to protect myself and I need to
Yeah.
fill my cup and work will
Yes.
fill my cup right now. And so it's like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
honoring all of those parts and not making
Yes.
myself feel guilty about it or beat myself up
Yeah.
or feel like I'm a shitty daughter because of it, you
Right.
know?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah. I remember when you and I had initially met up to talk about this podcast and like plan things. And we both kind of had like a heart to heart about like moms
Yeah.
and caretaking and what that looks like as a daughter. And I really appreciate the transparency and the honesty about it being like hard at
Yeah.
times and needing to choose to like I need to fill my cup, I need to step away so that I can be full to come back and be able to pour back into her cup and lay with her and be near her. And like I have a sister and my sister is so like to me when I watch her like her caretaking ability is very innate to her.
Mm.
And I like really appreciate that about her because she's just so on it and like so good. She's just
Yeah.
so good. And like I'm not. Like,
Mm.
I know myself. I know who I am. I'm just not. It's not my strong suit and I have to make peace with that too. Like
Yeah.
it's just I'm
But I'm
just not
sure
that
there's
girl.
things in it
Mhm.
that you are good at. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, like I'm okay. We got all the doctor's appointments ready to go.
Right.
Like, I know
Right.
where you got to be, when you got to be there, what
Yeah.
medications
Yeah.
you got to take. Like, I'm on
Yeah.
that shit,
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
but the learning to nurture you
Yeah.
part is where I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm learning and I can be
Yeah.
honest in saying that it's hard and it's
Mhm.
hard, especially when and I don't want to paint, especially knowing this is a podcast and it's going out into the world. I do not want to paint a
Sure.
picture like my mom wasn't and isn't the most loving,
Of
nurturing,
course.
caring person, but
Of
she has
course.
also triggered the fuck out of me, many,
Totally.
many a
Absolutely.
time. And
100%.
and maybe even more so now that I'm here all the
Mhm.
time again and she's
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
through this process.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
my little girl is just she she feels like she's still mending, and
Mhm.
then someone keeps
Absolutely.
poking her. poking at her,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, totally,
Yeah.
totally. And family dynamics changing. Because, like, so many things can exist in this moment. Like, you can have the most loving, wonderful, wonderful parent and still be have this like adult relationship with them where these roles are shifting and you're being that caretaker, and now you're realizing like, okay, there was some cracks that needed to be filled that potentially that weren't, now that I'm acknowledging as an adult. And like, it's no tea, no shade to your mom. It's no tea, no shade
Right.
to you. It's not meant to, drag anybody. It's just recognizing like, oh, like we're all very much imperfect and we're all doing our best with what we have, right?
Right.
And so yeah, like stepping into these new roles with our parents and like caretaking, being the one that's responsible for their care, being, their companion in a new way rather than like being like a child in the dynamic. You're having to be an adult, an equal, or even the parent sometimes too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is hard.
Yeah. And I
That's
still feel like
hard.
I'm not an adult.
Yeah,
Like I have
totally.
not reached adult age in my
Yeah.
mind yet.
Yeah, literally.
Adult, I've not
Yeah.
hit adult level, and now I've got to be an adult.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You
You're
know,
like, like, let's call an adult. And you're like, oh shit, that's me.
that's me exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally get that. I feel a little bit opposite in that sense. Like in my family dynamic, I feel like I'm the adult
Mm,
and I've always been the adult. Like I was laughing with a friend the other day. Like I've always felt like my mom is like 16. Like in my
mm,
eyes, when I look at my mom, she is 16 years old. Like that's just her essence. That's her energy. That's who she's always been. She's always been 16, and
yeah.
I'm not, and I'm 90. You know.
Yeah.
And like working with that and working within that same, that energy and that ideal, and again that same like scraping up against those wounds of like, well, I've always been 90. When was I 16? You know what I mean? Like
Right.
there's so many ways that that can play out, and so you're not alone in that. And it's okay to feel the things that you feel. I just like, it's hard loving people, it's hard taking care, it's hard being in a relationship,
Right.
period.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, romantic, platonic, familial, it's hard. People are hard. Even if we love them, especially
Yeah.
when we love them,
Yeah.
I completely see that. I feel that. How do you nourish yourself? Like, what's your favorite, like, self care act?
Mm. Right now, my favorite is travel. I
Love
like
that.
to leave and I like
Hmm.
to be in the sun and in moving water. Um,
I like that.
if I cannot do that, um, I need, okay, so let me take away all the elements. So if it's winter in Toronto and I need self-care, then it looks like me going to the gym, or it looks like me reading or coloring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Very, very contained.
Yeah. But my ideal is like, I live in the city, and so being able to like walk in the city,
Mhm.
hop in and out of different stores. I love seeing new things.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so just hopping in and out of different stores that are on the strip and just being present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah.
Hmm.
Moving the body,
Yeah.
taking new things in. That makes sense too.
Yeah.
I love that. That sounds very nourishing. How do
Hmm.
you, with like being, with having such a big following and having people like need so much from you, what would you say, like how do you prepare for that kind of thing? Like how do you prepare for like a facilitation, or is it just like I just do it?
I pray. I
Mhm.
think about what intention I want for the space.
Mhm.
I try not to be too controlling about it. I'll actually give you a quick
Mhm.
story. I
Mhm.
A couple weeks ago, I had to facilitate for a space, and I think I was walking into it with some bias based on who I
Mhm.
knew would be in the room. And
Mhm.
because I had that bias in my prayer, I remember saying, like, God, help me, I say all the regular things like help me to just hold space, help this facilitation to really help people feel seen, heard, understood. And I don't know why in this prayer I said, and help me to be assertive. And
Oh.
I didn't
Mhm.
think about it at that time. I just said it.
Mhm.
And when I tell you that was the hardest room to do a practice in, that was meant to
Mhm.
be quiet and sharing and
Mhm.
loving. Was so disruptive. Kids were running around. I don't
Mhm.
even know why there was kids there. There wasn't supposed to, like, there was like toddlers. It was supposed to be an adult
Oh my
space.
god.
And there's all these things, and I left
Oh,
it feeling so disconcerted. And then I remembered, I was like, "Girl, why you asked to be assertive?" And
yeah.
every moment that you needed to be assertive, like everything that could happen for you to show yourself as being assertive happened in this
Yeah.
experience. And
Yeah.
so I'm I'm more mindful now as to like what are the biases I'm coming into a space with, and I'm now
Mhm.
asking to have those be removed. And so my
Yeah.
preparation really is outside of like the tangible stuff, the
Mhm.
worksheets and whatever. It's
Yeah.
really spiritual, and I was
Yeah.
this way even with my coaching of women. I always
Mhm.
um, prayed for any person I've interacted with as a
Mhm.
guide in any way. I have prayed for,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
so that is probably that would be the major key I would say for me.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
and not not all the time does it show up exactly as what I asked for, but
Right.
um,
Rarely does. Rarely does. Yeah.
I think it helps keep me grounded in knowing
Yeah.
that um, or trusting that what I'm doing isn't about me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's good. I love
yeah,
that. That's
hmm
so clean. It feels so clean.
yeah,
There's like this, yeah, I had a client tell me once they were talking about like an acupuncturist in town, and his energy is very clean. And
mm,
to like once I heard that, I was like, oh, I want that for my energy as well. Like when I do my energy work, I want my energy to feel clean. Like I want to
yeah,
be just like a vessel, absolutely, but like I want to be myself, as quiet and as like away, removed as I possibly can be, to let
yeah,
spirit do its thing, to let,
hmm
God guide the situation, the session, whatever, what have you.
yeah. I love how
But
you said
mhm,
that because I never thought about it. It is really like a resetting before you enter a
mhm,
space, and
mhm, mhm.
yeah, hmm
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. What are you currently working on that has lit you up recently?
I would say that so the practice is called counsel. And
Hmm.
funny enough, counsel, how I learned it is the facilitators are based out of Ojai. So
Oh,
that,
cool.
yeah,
Shout out Ohio, where we are.
yeah, so the main council center is in Ojai, is my understanding.
Okay.
And so council is a storytelling and active listening practice. And
Hmm.
so each time that I facilitated that, it's been lighting me up.
Hmm.
Um, I wrote a post maybe a couple weeks ago and I said, I don't know if anyone's noticing, but the girlies are coming to God.
Hmm.
And it's something I've kind of been noticing more people around me getting baptized and just different things and
Hmm.
speaking
Hmm.
to. And and everyone has their own ways of what that may look like. Um,
Totally.
and I find that I too am feeling more safe to speak about God in spaces like this and in
Hmm.
my coaching and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's not meant to harm anyone who may not
Hmm.
relate or have the same experiences, but
Hmm.
it's lighting me up to be able to share and say God,
Hmm.
while
Hmm.
also
Hmm.
speaking of creative arts
Hmm.
and Instagram or whatever,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
been that's been feeling really good because it makes me also feel like I'm showing up as my whole self. I'm not having to hold
Yeah.
anything back.
I love
Yeah.
that.
hmm
Yeah, that's very intentional. I wanted to touch on that intentionality, especially with the work of the birdhouse. And you were saying how like you wanted to honor like privacy and not like sharing on social media, and like just like doing it a little bit differently, because then the people that are in alignment with you will see that and receive that. And I think that just makes it all that much more special. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you could easily just do it the very formulaic way that everybody else does it, and this is how you show up, and this is what you do, and yeah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
But I do have to just name and like give you like props for thinking out of the box in that sense, or just like pivoting just enough that like there will be a community that benefits from the way that you're approaching this work.
Right. Thank you.
in a
That
way
means a
that
lot.
hasn't been done before.
Yeah, that means a lot.
Totally. Yeah.
I always struggled with feeling like I did things slightly before everyone else did things, if
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
Mm-hmm.
when I became a coach, people were looking at
Mm-hmm.
me sideways, like, what the hell is that? When I went to therapy the first time, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I was a grown woman when I went to therapy the first. I was 26,
Yeah.
27, but no
Uh-huh.
one was talking about therapy back then.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
the immediate thought, especially culturally and being here in Toronto, was you're crazy. Something must be wrong with you.
Oh, wow.
Um, and then when I became a coach, people were like, "What the hell is that? What do you do? I don't really know what you do," you know? And then
Right,
in
right, right.
2020, we saw all the coaches step out. Like everybody
Yeah, and you're like, that's what I thought. All you bitches are my sons. Yeah.
right. And now I do recognize that I am um again, I feel like
Uh-huh.
I'm right on time with what I'm doing, but I do
Yeah.
still feel like I'm slightly ahead again.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and so there's always this point where I'm like trying to get people to buy into,
Mm-hmm.
what I
Mm-hmm.
see and what
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to do to serve and support and love on
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
But I used to see it as like a fault, and now I'm like, no, people will catch up eventually.
Absolutely. No,
Yeah.
you're a visionary. You're a visionary. You're called to be a visionary and to, yeah, to show, like, to light the way, because then literally everyone will eventually catch up. And I could see that being like a very lonely experience, or being like the first one. I kept hearing like the first one doing it, the first one to do it, the first one to do it.
Mm,
And like, that's, it's meant to be an empowering thing to be the first one, right? Like, you're chosen, you're the one. And then you're like, but when you're in it, you're like, uh, this sucks, you
yeah,
know?
exactly.
This sucks.
Sucks,
But then
exactly.
yeah, and then everybody gets hip to it and they're like, oh my God. And you're like, yeah, that's what I thought you said. That's what I
Right.
thought you guys said. I will take my thank yous and apologies in cash. Thank you.
True.
But yeah, I do see you. I do respect and honor that visionary energy that you bring, because yeah, it is hard to be the first one, or like to get that inkling, and like it's like God whispering in your ear and being like, this is what needs to happen. And then
Mhm.
watching the tide change and you're like, I was there the whole time.
I
I
know.
was right there. That was me.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I lift you up. I lift you up in that, because I can see how that would feel lonely, but I can see how it also, like, now that you're using it as like an empowering place, instead of it feeling like, oh God, why? It's like,
Right.
oh God, this is why.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Thank
I see
you.
you, girl. I do. I see you. I think that's a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
What I wanted to give you an opportunity to plug, shameless plug, anything that you're working on that you want to share with our listeners, and just give yourself like full bouts to brag and where people can find you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Um, with the birdhouse, the
Hmm.
best place maybe to find it would be on LinkedIn. That's the only
Okay.
place that you could find it, or you'd have to direct message me on Instagram and be like, "What's the birdhouse?" And then I'll connect with you on Zoom.
Deal.
And I have a Substack blog called Bear With Me,
Hmm.
Bare with me.
Hmm.
And it is more personal to me. I share a lot of,
Hmm.
similar to how our talk has been here today, just
Yeah.
real time, what the hell's going on with me moments, and a lot of like
Yeah.
the musings and breakthroughs that I have there. And so I would
Yeah.
love for anyone who's interested to just follow me on Substack at
Okay. Hmm.
bearwithme.substack.com.
Perfect.
Um, yeah, that would feel really special for me right now. Yeah.
I'll make sure to incorporate all of that in the show notes so that everyone can find where to find Natasha and her musings. Wow. Thanks so much for being here today and just sharing this grounded wisdom and just being real with us, being real with me, and like trusting and being vulnerable and open. Like, I loved how we jumped headfirst into just like the real shit of things. And I just always want that to be the way. So I
Mm.
really appreciate you for coming here and doing that.
I have to say, Lexi, though, you created the space for that,
Mm.
and Maddie too. And so I'm grateful that you allowed me to show up as my authentic self in this moment and whatever feelings I'm having,
Mhm.
and you didn't have any expectations of like, girl, you need to say this or you need to do that or you need to be a certain way. And
Mhm.
yeah, I'm excited for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of Take What You Need, the podcast. I hope that you're able to sit with this information, tease it out, journal about it, take some time with it, and feel that feeling of what I felt was like a weighted blanket. And with that, I encourage you to not be afraid to be the first, share your story, and create space for one another. Take What You Need, the podcast was created by Lexi Bordeaux and Madeline Doss. Original music and production by Madeline Doss. If you'd like to book an in-person or virtual session with me, you can find all of my information for Light and Sable Healing in the show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, please add it to your library, follow the show, leave us a review, and send it to a friend. It's the best way to spread the healing that you just heard. I invite you to join on Patreon. Patrons of Take What You Need enjoy exclusive updates, minisodes, shoutouts on the show, Reiki sessions, and more. Go to the show notes for the link as well as all the links for our socials. This is a Bad Cat Audio podcast.